Hi, this is Cheryl. I was just listening to Limp Bizkit. I did an intuitive art class today, but Ness Chambers did that online. And this is what I painted. I bought a bunch of stuff to paint, and that's what I came up with. I've never painted on a blank canvas before, and I did that today. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I just started painting, and that's what came out. Met one of my neighbors today, and she's really nice. Went for a walk with her and visited with her for a little while. That was really nice. I like to do these videos not just to make a video, but it's kind of healing for me. And like listening to music and doing tarot is kind of healing for me. I've had not the best last few days, so I'm gonna do some tarot. Some days are easier than others, but I'll get through it. Okay, I'm going to do the Journey into Hidden Realm. Been through a lot in my life, and it's a lot to go through. Okay. Put a braid in my hair today and put some ribbon in it. And I found this shirt. I thought it was really cool. It has flames on it. It's feeling really good this morning. Like really fiery, but I don't know. It was pretty nice outside today. It was nice to go for a walk with my neighbor. Right now I just can't get warm. I had to turn my heat way up. She gave me some books too. Okay, we got a lot of cards, but must be a lot to say today. Okay. 8 of Wands. The wind is as wild as her eyes. Clouds swirl. Her fire red hair blows madly against the stormy sky, a flag marking the center. Amidst the chaos, she stands steady, perfectly balanced and exquisitely poised. Her goal moves, dancing on the eddies of air. Icy drops brush her skin, only to be ignored by her. In her world, at this moment, only 3 things exist: her arrow, her prey, and the path between the two. She knows without a doubt that her arrow will find that path, will stay true, will hit a target. Years of training will culminate in this one shot. Everything she has learned shapes her aim. All her energy is focused on her goal. She senses rather than sees the path, and every fiber of her being responds, and yet she is still a stone until the moment arrives. Suddenly she raises the bow, cocks her weapon, and releases the arrow. The motion is over before it can even be observed. Her stillness is broken as she strides, hair flaming behind her, through the wind and rain toward the inevitable conclusion of her action. Sometimes things happen in a wink, or at least they seem to. This card indicates one of those moments. Events have been set in motion and will move towards their logical ending very quickly. This is no random happening, though. The situation has been building, whether by precise and conscious design or by a series of accidents. All the pieces are in place. It takes just one spark of energy, one single movement, and the matter will be decided. Clad to match the pitch of the night, she readies herself for the task ahead. The thick night swallows all light and sound. Delving into the black is dangerous, but sometimes it must be done. The reckless rush in, overly confident despite their inexperience. Those who survive learned quickly the ways of the moonless night, schooling themselves in strict practice and diligent study. A good warrior learns to listen with more than her ears and to see with more than her eyes. She knows that once she begins to move, there is only one way to success, and no room for error. She cannot rely on her physical senses. Her weapon is her mind. She must know, without benefit of external cues, how to move. She must be swift, intent only on achieving her single goal. If she fails, she will not get another chance. Sometimes we think something is worse than it is, but sometimes we are correct in our assessments. The 8 of Swords acknowledges that the situation is difficult, perhaps even dangerous. A misstep could cause setbacks. However perilous the problem appears, it is not insurmountable. There is a solution. It may not be readily apparent, and when you recognize it may not be easy, but it is there. Once you see it, you will move with confident strength. There is even an element of faith involved, because this will likely be something you have not done before, and therefore you won't have ways of knowing if you are moving in the right direction. Ten of Wands. It feels so fragile even to his gentle hand. He holds it carefully, imagining a tiny phoenix within, growing in strength but not yet ready to be born. The egg trembles slightly against his palm, moving the treasure near his heart. He stills himself and quiets his breathing until he feels the beating life in the egg match that of his own. When will he feel confident? When will he not worry about damaging the gift he has been given? Even after careful preparation, making himself ready with paint and beads and meditation, he worries. Yet, this is what he wanted. This is his life. The thumping in the egg grows stronger and steadier. His own rises to meet it. With each chorus of a thump, the thump, his courage increases. He presses the egg more closely to his chest until he can feel the immeasurable energy and infinite potential within. Only thin shells, the eggs and his own, separate him from it. Although still somewhat uncertain, his desire overcomes and he hesitates no longer. In between one thump and the next, he and the egg merge. The contents of the egg moves through the shell and skin to meld with his heart. He and the phoenix are one, and now anything is possible. The intense energy and power of the Ten of Wands can feel like a burden. How can you possibly weld all that potential? It is a big responsibility. The secret is to realize that it isn't something that exists outside of you. It's your own passion, to be lived and expressed through your life, not something external that you have to manage. The difference is subtle but important. Live your life. Don't let life live you. Embrace the immeasurable energy, for it is It is within you, but it is not a burden thrust upon you. The Star. When he started out, he wasn't lost at all, just full of wonder. The sky was a dark velvet blue sprinkled with jewels that sparkled and twinkled at him. The breeze was gentle, carrying the scent of something heavy and fragrant, teasing him along. Silvery moonlight illuminated the world. He wandered about in this magical world, following moonbeams and chasing fireflies, never thinking anything bad could happen. But the night was long, and young Fae creatures need rest. Feeling weary and wanting to go home, he looked around. Nothing was familiar. He had no idea which way to turn. Before panic could engulf him, an iridescent moth, catching the fading moonlight and shining like a star, fluttered nearby. It was so delicate, so ephemeral, that he was afraid to touch it. Instead, he held up his hand, his eyes full of curiosity and touched with hope. The moth rested on his finger. He fancied it and kissed the tip. As he fluttered its wings, the scent of apple blossoms wafted about him. After gazing at each other for a few moments, the moth took flight. The young fairy smiled and followed after the moth, knowing that he would soon be home, snug and safe in bed. The star is always a welcome card, bringing as it does the promise of aid and relief. At the darkest moment, when you are lost and floundering, this card twinkles into your life to work its magic. First, it pours healing waters to soothe your hurts and nourish your faith. Then sounds a metaphoric chime, one that resonates with the divine spark that exists in your soul. Finally, it guides you gently to be sure, but also to clearly back to your path. Stars are rich in symbolic meaning. We navigate by the stars, wish upon them, and when we are particularly pleased with ourselves, feel like them. While this card usually focuses on healing and guidance, once you are back on track and reconnected with your inner sparkle, you may very well steal the show in your own life, which is pretty much as it should be. Five of Pentacles. Two young fae huddle together in the chill twilight, their bodies nearly as empty of life and light as this winter's eve. In a world full of such abundance, how can such lack exist? As she holds her sister in her arms, feeling her shivering bitterly, and hears her belly rumble with need, she offers what comfort she has. It's a challenging effort, as she has so little to give, being cold and hungry herself. Fighting despair with only weapon she has left, she whispers words of memory and hope. She weaves stories of warm spring days and autumn harvests, creating a strangely tangible energy that slowly covers them like vines, twining deeper and chasing away the worst of the chill. She imagines the future, not far off, when the earth will come alive again with fragile green sprouts, fighting through the cold soil and reaching for the sun. With a sigh, she pulls her beloved sister closer, knowing that they need only hold out a little longer. They just need to survive until the next cycle. Sometimes we learn as much about an energy through its absence as through its presence. The Five of Pentacles is a difficult card, but one that represents very real cycles in life. During the winter months, all living things are challenged to survive until spring. The earth, which may seem dead, is creating the soil for next season. Dormant plants are anything but stagnant. They are either growing stronger to return in the spring or breaking down to enhance the soil. During this time, you may experience a shortage of physical resources, and it may feel like your life is dormant. This cycle will pass. At the end of it, you will find that the choices you made during this dormant period will determine what kind of plants, seeds, and soil you have to work with in the next cycle. The Moon. So many come to see her, to know what isn't known, to see what cannot be seen. The answers are sometimes riddles and sometimes not, twisted knots. She can undo them, see the truth in the center, and lead the way to the holy places. She likes to put her ear close to the earth and hear it breathe. It only works, though, when it is silent as death all around. Her horns keep getting in the way, keeping her from the whispers that she longs for as desperately as a lover. In the earth, all the dead animals, fairy, human, trees rest like babies in a womb, sometimes willing to share their secrets. She can hear their stories and see their path only in the dark, but it's not easy. The energy, the visions, the voices of so many dead flow so widely sometimes. Faintness overcomes her, and she presses to the earth, yearning for stability and begging for silence. When her prayer is granted, the moon creates monsters to grab and clutch at her, but she holds back her cries and remembers who she is and what she is. She reads the scratched picture. She tells the way, the straight way, so they can find what they are looking for. Holy wisdom and unholy truths, their deepest dreams and their most horrible fears. Without her, they'd never find their way. The moon is a complicated card and indicates that the situation you are doing the reading about is not simple. There may not be a clear black and white answer, but only a frustrating lack of concrete facts. By the light of the moon, shades of gray fade into each other, causing you to question what is really there. Is it a monster or a treasure? Will you find your dearest hope or your greatest fear? When lost in the night, waiting until morning can be helpful. But until then, you're spending time with your monsters and your dreams. Both tell you something about yourself and give you answers. While the situation may be confusing to the conscious mind, you may be surprised that these encounters in the dark help you see your unconscious desires very clearly. Once you tap into that wisdom, knots become unraveled and riddles are solved. 10 of Pentacles. He considers removing his warm fur-lined cloak. The huge stones have gathered the energy from the sun all day. The heat radiating from them warms the grove. He loves his annual journey when he bids farewell to the season of growth and welcomes the coming fallow days. Life, he thinks, is just grand and so marvelously magical. Yet he decides he will take off his cloak. He's tired after his long trek. A little bread and a mead wouldn't hurt either, a fitting repast before his ritual visit with the ancestors. His visit is like the cycle of life, always the same, and yet always different. He finds comfort in repeating the same acts, chanting the same words, giving gratitude for the guidance and gifts of the ancient spirits never fails to fill his heart. Each time he comes, he brings a token of thanks for the past and a request for the future. And so the wheel of time turns as he connects to the roots of his kin and helps create blessings to come. He visits each stone in turn, giving and receiving with each interaction, closing with a song that sounds more like a long, melodious laugh. He packs his things and begins the journey home with a dancing heart and a twinkle in his eye. In this card, the energy of Earth shines beautifully and portends great things in a reading. For here, there is abundance, yes, but also deep connections to the past, which provide a long-term sense of stability. Stagnation, which can be a quality of the Earth, is migrated by the seed of the future. There is no standing still. This is an ongoing cycle of a strong past, a contented present, and a hopeful future. The gifts promised in the 10 of Pentacles is not just material. The deep roots and forward focus bring a loving spiritual quality along with physical happiness. 4 of Swords. Thoughts tangle in her mind, binding her in confusion and distress. Her muscles tighten, then she slowly exhales a prayer. In a moment, she looks up, sensing an answer. The veil of trouble shows in her eyes, but with each flutter of ethereal wings, it grows lighter. Soon it will pass away, and she will see more clearly. Like gifts from the heavens, the light blue wings bring peace. That almost imperceptible whispers of air kiss her skin, showering her with cleansing and clarity. The stability of the 4 creates a quiet resting place for her turbulent imaginings. In this quiet moment, she can reflect. She can remember that, like the ivy in her hair, she is determined and strong, and that no matter the damage, she will heal, grow, and flourish. She reaches up to touch the strong, shiny leaves and feels a butterfly light on her finger. The sadness that fills her recedes, and a smile begins to curve on her lips. Thoughts that seem disjointed slowly reconnect. She can see solutions to problems that seemed insurmountable. The smile moves from her mouth to her eyes as she thanks the butterflies for their gifts. When troubles abound, when problems seem unsolvable, when you don't know what to do, doing nothing is a wise option. Analysis is a reasonable approach to any troubling situation. However, when your mind is too busy, when it has made a muddle of thoughts like a cat playing with a ball of yarn, continuing to think will only make the knots tighter. Stop, breathe, quiet your mind. Stop talking, stop doing, reflect, invite divine peace and inspiration. Ace of Swords. Great wings, strong and nearly silent, carry Heron through the air. With a small splash, he lands in the lake surrounded by trees. Standing still and blending with the branches and slivers of light shining through the leaves. He is the embodiment of patience. Heron, although aware of every movement and every sound, is not distracted. He recognizes every detail of his environment and knows when to strike and when to remain silent, motionless. He is discernment. He is precision. The folk of the hidden realm honor the elemental energy of their world and, like humans, recognize powerful symbols. While all winged creatures share in this archetypal resonance of air, Heron is especially loved. His noble countenance echoes their value of the truth. His complete knowledge of his environment is a product of his curiosity. His control of himself shows his determination. Through all this, he has become wise and able to judge the truth from distraction. His beautiful gracefulness pleases them as well, but he is more than elegant. His form allows him to strike with precision. Discerning the truth is not always easy, but this card lets you know that truth is within your grasp. Truth shows itself to those who seek it. By listening attentively and paying attention, you can catch a glimpse of it or hear its whisper. In this case, the truth you are seeking will come as a gift. Elegant, beautiful, but fleeting. Like Heron, it may be hard to see, so employ his gift of discernment to recognize it. The opportunity held within this truth, for opportunity there will be, must be grasped quickly, just as Heron recognizes his prey and moves without hesitation. And the last card is Justice. Young and strong, and yet with weary eyes, she has a challenging role. In the hidden realms, Justice is not blind. Donning her headpiece of hawk feathers, she prepares to unite with her totem, inviting its clarity of vision, its protectiveness, and its connection with the spirit realm. She needs all these traits in order to be a true purveyor of justice. Her sword is always clean and always ready to cut through entanglements and obfuscations to reveal the truth, which is not always plain and rarely simple. She loves and serves justice. The honor is not one she wears lightly, for it is mixed with compassion. Although she isn't always conscious of this trait in herself, that sensibility makes her perfectly suited to wield the sword of truth. While some systems of justice are clunky, in the hidden realm it is delicate. She is, after all this time, after all the stories, after all the outcomes, still sensitive to the most subtle nuances. One must be if one fills the balance with hearts and feathers. And thus girded, she invites the next soul to tell its story. As the words fill the air, images dance in the spaces in between. Hawk guides her through the labyrinth of events to the center, to the heart of the matter. She watches carefully as Hawk drops a single feather, an innocent bit of downy fluff, which is in the end the measure of all things. Depending on your past actions, justice is either a very welcome card or a wake-up call. While there are sometimes connections to illegal proceedings, in which case it denotes that true justice will prevail, it often refers to the larger idea of right and wrong, one that we call karma. Your past actions create your present, and your present actions will create your future. This is always true, but when this card appears, take a close look at what you've done to shape your situation, and be careful what you choose to do next. Justice, this version of justice, is not blind and sees all. Don't try to fool her or yourself. If there's ever a time for self-reflection and utter honesty about your motives and intentions, this is it. You're being given an opportunity to change your direction, should you desire. And that is those cards. I haven't been eating a lot of bread or sugar, but this morning I had some cinnamon bread and bought some candy yesterday. I'm trying not to, but I got a Mountain Dew today. Been trying to drink pop without sugar and juice without sugar, but I really enjoyed that painting. Like, I got a sugar skull template in a little canvas, and I was going to do that, but then because I've never painted like on a blank canvas before, and I wasn't sure what I was going to paint, and then I just started painting, and it was really good. I need to do that more often. I really like to paint. But I always think, oh, I don't have talent, so I can't paint. But you don't have, I mean, you can paint. Just have to believe in yourself. At first I thought it looked kind of chaotic, but it has a lot of colors. And I don't know, I'm glad I painted it. I gotta put my name and the date on it though still, but it's good to take a break and do something like that. And now I'm going to do the energy deck. And I cleansed the deck and I put a rose quartz on it. The last time I painted was with my daughter, and I have her painting up on display. That's beautiful. And she painted on a blank canvas. But I painted something that was already printed, and I painted it. But today I painted on a blank canvas. And I got a 2-pack, so there's another one to paint on. And I got a birdhouse. I want to paint that and put it out for the birds because I like to watch the birds. So sometime I want to paint that birdhouse. And I got some, it says they're mason jars, but they're plastic. And it has 3 in it. And I thought it'd be good for me and my girls to paint and use for our moon water. I don't know if any more cards are going to come out today. I got 1 card, but I don't know if there's any more cards. I think that's it. It's beautiful on caging. It has a heart with a key on it. It's number 14. Key concepts: the prison of guilt, a need for self-inventory, rigorous honesty, accountability, making amends. At this time, you're being called to assess where guilt is playing a part in your life. Recognize how it's affecting you and others, and address it so you can release yourself from its grip. Guilt is a powerful emotional state, capable of transforming difficult situations. It keeps you accountable for your actions when you've done something that causes harm. However, it can also feed a self-sabotaging cycle that fosters codependency and a distorted sense of personal power. Self-blame can lead to behaviors that perpetuate low self-worth. Have you done or said something for which you need to make amends? Have you disregarded a boundary or broken a promise? Guilt can make you aware of potential ways you have given injury and show how you readdress the transgression. When you sincerely admit you are wrong and begin the process to fix it, this is an act of accountability, responsibility, and liberation. Take a moment now to consider when you have harmed others or yourself. This knowledge will free you from the story that you tell about it, so you're able to connect with truthful remorse. Now is the time for rigorous honesty as you take a self-inventory with a neutral state of mind. A good question to ask yourself now is why the guilt is there. You might be taking on a burden that is not even yours to carry. Pay attention, take action, and uncage yourself from the prison of your own making. Okay. And the last deck we're going to do is the Archangel Power Tarot cards. I like to do tarot, and I like to think that maybe it might help somebody. And I just enjoy it. Very calming. Candles and incense and just doing tarot. Calming. I was listening to one of my friend tarot readers on Twitch last night, Lady Butterfly, and she was talking about divine masculine and herbs, and that was really interesting. It was a live stream, but I didn't watch it. I didn't catch it live, but I watched it, the replay of it. we've got Ace of Gabriel, a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration, the chance to do something amazing, a sense of wonder. Eight of Ariel, take great pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training. Change your life. Archangel Chamuel, a sudden revelation that offers freedom. Break free of procrastination. Embrace the opportunities that change brings. Okay, Ace of Gabriel. A wonderful gift is coming your way. It promises passion, opportunity, and inspiration. This is a time of action when you're called to take up whatever activity motivates you most and make great changes in your life. Don't hesitate to move forward. It isn't necessary to know every single detail of what comes next in order to spring into action. You may be offered a new job or promotion, or you could start your own business. Accept new adventures and opportunities with open arms. Additional meanings: a sense of wonder, news of pregnancy or birth, fresh ideas. Eight of Ariel. And I did buy some Band-Aids for work. Bought some with unicorns on them. And I bought some liquid Band-Aid too. I put some on my cut and it's probably helping it heal better. And these Band-Aids are pretty good. They don't come off when I wash my hands, and they're good Band-Aids. You're doing excellent work. You take great pride in what you do. The energy and effort you put into your work financially supports you and also feels very rewarding. If you're considering changing jobs or careers, it will go very well. There's a great motivation to be a success, and your willingness to invest in your long-term goals will pay off. There's so much to learn. This card often indicates job training, going back to school, and attending seminars or creative classes. A choice you need to make might benefit from more research. Additional meanings: students, artisans, practice makes perfect. Number 16, change your life. It's time to change your life. This card represents a need to leave behind the old belief systems and old way of doing things that have become stale and out of date. When this card presents itself, the universe is telling you that you can no longer procrastinate on making the changes that you know in your own heart you need to make. Suddenly, everything is crystal clear to you. Change is inevitable. If you're going to grow and evolve, embrace this new direction in your life as liberating and exciting. You needn't go through this transformation alone. Archangel Chamuel can help you find the new path and meaning in your life that you long for. Additional meanings: awakening, a sudden revelation that offers freedom, unexpected transformations, life experiences. Archangel Chamuel is said to observe the world from a very high vantage point. This gives him the ability to see opportunities that you may be missing. Call upon Archangel Chamuel whenever you're searching for something. With his super angelic vision, he can clearly find a path that will lead your life in a new and exciting direction. And that is the cards for today, and I hope that these messages resonate with you. Even if one message resonates with you, that'd be great. And I really enjoy doing tarot. And it's very healing. And I hope that it can help heal somebody else too. Like, it's really helped me out in my life. I haven't really been doing tarot for too long, but I've learned a lot. And I've had great friends and teachers that have taught me things about tarot and just about everything, life. And family. A great family too. And I love all my friends and family. And thank you so much for watching my video.